Shoot, baby. Shoot.
We got to see them perform during the daylight at the Comedy Central Comedy Festival because it was all wrong and the musicians performed before comedy.
I tell you what, man, Chili always be my girl.
Yeah. It's TLC.
Yeah, that is TLC. They're two different groups.
Wow.
That is
Because the whole thing about Salt and Peppa is that one of them is named Salt and the other one is named Peppa.
And then there's Spinderella. And there's fucking Spinderella.
I just got it. We gotta go. I have to go.
Also, everyone's favorite was Left Eye.
I know, I like Left Eye too, but I was sexually attracted to Chili.
Yeah, but Left Eye, well, they're all hot.
I like Chili. She was the one with the long hair, right?
I like
yeah.
And I like the tall one from Salt and Peppa.
They're all hot. Yeah, they're all very attractive.
They really are.
Yeah.
But yeah, this isn't that type of dancing. This is like white woman on a retreat in Sedona, like letting her hair down after scream therapy. Like this is Beetle Bob. This is like Charles Manson bebopping and jazzing after that reporter asked him to define his unique charm. But regardless, after the Christmas Eve dancers stopped following the priest curse, they reportedly fell into a deep sleep and some of them subsequently died from exhaustion.
Wow.
Now, that's a fairly incredible story.
Yeah.
Because while it's unknown exactly how long a human can go without sleep, the current record is 11 days.
It's a record you don't want to try to beat.
No, what a nightmare.
Perhaps the dancers continued twitching during sleeping hours and began the boogie anew upon their next awakening.
Well, have you heard about fatal insomnia?
Yeah, where you die from insomnia?
It's a really fun, like...
God, what a horrible way to die.
If you have problems with, like, intrusive thoughts or, like, kind of like any form of hypochondria, like, it's like the most frightening thing that you've ever heard because it just happens. They don't know why it happens. You just stop being able to go to sleep, and then you go insane to death.
I would imagine
and
that
it
you
just
do.
happens.
That's fucking horrible.
Isn't that great?
That's absolutely horrible.
Yeah, there you go. Run with that.
Yeah.
There has
okay,
to be
cool.
a way to get someone to go to sleep.
Well, they have to put you out for a while. They try to do it with anesthesia. It doesn't really work because you don't really
So
sleep.
the brain is just like, we don't sleep anymore.
Yes.
Wow. What a trip.
So it's I bet you there's something. I feel like all of this is kind of weirdly connected in a way.
I think that and Locked In. Those are
Locked In syndrome.
Those are very scary.
No.
Always kill me.
Kill me. Blink,
Always kill me. Both of you know.
I will.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, we'll make fun of you a bunch first.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. First,
And we'll
get
do
some content out of it.
Yep.
Use the body, film the roast. We're roasting Henry's corpse. And that's it.
18 months.
That's great.
And then we'll...
Yeah, sure.
know.
Yeah,
Then
whatever
it's
you
over.
can drain out of it. Great.
Yeah. Well, regardless of logistics, we know that if this story is exaggerated, it's only exaggerated a bit because dancing plagues continued for centuries, specifically in Germany. Now, people tend to dismiss stories of dancing plagues pretty much just because it sounds fucking stupid.
Yeah,
it sounds
right.
ridiculous. But a lot of these epidemics were recorded by reliable sources, and they're corroborated by multiple chroniclers who were otherwise trusted in everything else they wrote.
Weird.
It's really strange.
Yeah.
In the German town of Erfurt in 1247, 200 people were said to have danced on a bridge until it collapsed, drowning them all.
People are
can
like,
see that.
TikTok's the problem. It's literally, they've been doing this ever since. That is just called planking.
Yeah.
Well, that actually is interesting as well. I don't know if we cover it, but the Brooklyn Bridge, when it first opened, the mass hysteria, someone's like, it's going down. And then a bunch of people got trampled to death. I'm not sure if that really is. It's kind of mass hysteria.
It is.
Because it wasn't going down.
Or mass panic.
Mass panic. Yeah.
Well, in the next century, thousands of people in the Germanic lands of the Low Countries gathered and danced for weeks while screaming that they were having terrible visions and pleading in great pain for monks and priests to save their souls. About 30 or 40 years after that, monks in the city of Trier recorded that masses of hallucinating dancers hopped and leaped for 6 months. That's not seizures. That's something totally different.
Something else.
Yeah, and some of them even, in fact, died after they landed badly. They landed
much
bad.
hopping.
They broke their ribs. Some of them broke their loins, which
This
I
is-
think they mean their hips, like old people.
They're still German. They're still German at the end of the day.
Yeah.
We're not a jumping people.
No. You're a kicking people.
Well,
You're marching people.
marching, sure.
Yeah.
What about Detlef Schrempf?
Yes, but more of a shooter. Not much deadlift. But there's been Dirk, perhaps.
Nowitzki, yeah.
Do you cover the one where they said they built the stage around the dancers?
Yeah. And so it went, at least once a century. In Strasbourg, in the summer of 1518, 400 people were caught in a dancing plague so uncontrollable that they danced themselves to death.
Jeez.
Yeah, knowing all the while that sunstroke would kill them if they did not stop. People are dropping dead at their feet, and they're not stopping.
Yeah, how about that, Coachella? How about that?
God, we're just fucking so old.
Yeah, Coachella.
Oh, that lineup is garbage.
It's not for us.
No, it's not.
Oh, I love Tribbett and Mr. Bankel, and I think it's Stank Pink.
Yeah.
Stank Pink is one of my favorite violent. God.
Hyperpop.
There we go. Really good.
Now, the city of Strasbourg tried getting proactive with their dancing plague and therefore constructed a special stage in the heart of the city.
Making content.
Yeah, why not? If they're going to be dancing anyway, put them on stage.
The dancers were herded to the stage where they could ostensibly, I think the logic was like, let them get it out of their system.
Yeah,
let
they
them
want
perform.
attention so much.
Yeah.
And you know what happens when Germans let it get out when they get it out of their system. That's going to be great.
Really let loose what's
Let
inside the German.
loose.
Yeah. Eventually, the city even hired professional dancers and musicians to accompany the people in the dancing trances, either to give the dancers a structure or to just make them visually less unsettling.
There was a dude that watched this at some point. He was like, this needs choreography. Like, he's watching this whole. He's like, hey, we're doing this all wrong. Like, he arrived and he was just like, we need to put up a backdrop. We got to put up some lights.
This
We
is
need
a
music.
strangely sympathetic approach.
It really is.
Because
Yeah.
they're like, let's help them out. Now there's a reason to
Now
dance.
they're definitely.
Yeah.
Well, they're not dancing a beat.
Yeah.
No,
But
well.
They're not.
fine.
But at least it's not them dancing in silence and you just hear the of the feet, which is
Don't forget the bones cracking.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the bones slowly cracking. The bones slowly cracking.
Wow.
Of course.
Ooh, that would be horrible to dance and your fucking ankles break. And,
Yeah.
oh,
It happened. Like they
Like doing the Michael Jackson scream.
But of course, once the professional dancers began dancing with the sick ones, the professional dancers also got caught in the epidemic, even though they would try their hardest not to.
It's really strange.
Yeah.
very weird.
Now, it's been wrongly theorized that every single one of these dancing plagues were a result of ergot poisoning. Ergot poisoning.
I mean, you know, because they're ergot poisoning. Once they figured out that ergot does that, they're all like, every single historian was like, let's sprinkle some ergot on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, does it have anything to do with it?
No, but
Okay.
it doesn't wash, because when you consider that people would dance for weeks or months on end without showing any other sign of ergot poisoning, such as puking or shitting yourself into a coma.
You're also just seeing stuff.
Yeah.
This is the nature of how many times it's all everybody who talks about hallucinogens that has never done any.
Yeah.
Where they're all like, well, it makes you go crazy. Where like mostly it just makes you see shit weird and you kind of just like ball up inside of yourself.
I found the phrase that I find myself saying the most when doing hallucinogens is "uh-oh."
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah.
In my mind, it's also very like, this makes sense. Or like,
Yeah.
I like these like, oh, of course that fucking pine cone would be there.
Uh-oh. Like that says uh-oh. All right, let's but it's uh-oh in a good way. Or it's like, uh-oh, all right.
I
all right.
mostly just sit down.
Yeah. Gotta chill out.
Well, people did exhibit irrational psychedelic sounding behavior during these prolonged trances. In the well-documented 1347 case in the Low Countries, the afflicted yelled out the names of devils, they claimed to be drowning in a sea of blood, and they developed strange aversions to the color red and pointed shoes.
Now that really points towards the society's fears.
I think that's because they were getting kicked by all these people in pointed shoes.
I mean, yeah, and then also, but it's indicative of the devil, of a wicked man, a wicked person, and so you're basically taking like how we say we transmute our pop culture ideas to our visions of aliens and shit. It's the same as that, where they're just scared of stuff, which is actually to them very scary at the time.
It would be funny if aliens come back wearing like 1300s garb, be like, oh, I guess we got the century rug.
Do you not think that the next wave of fashion is going to be all of that? It's all going to be like 1300s to be like medieval fashion.
It all
Snood
comes
wear?
back.
I think Snood Life is coming, and it's going to be real.
Oh, yeah?
But
Cool.
apparently, I bought a Snood. I told you I took a picture in it, but it looks a bit ethnic. And I tried to put it on, and a listener said it to me. It was great. I thank you. But yeah, I can't wear it because I look like
You can wear it.
I look like a professional 40-year-old dishwasher that's white from 36 years ago.
What's wrong with that?
I'm just saying it's a knit cap.
All right.
I understand that. And to that point, Henry, we went to the Renaissance Fair last week.
Oh, yeah.
And I was told many a time that I looked like I fit right in. The only thing that was Renaissance clothing on my body was the pants. The shirt, wear that shirt all the time.
It's just clothes.
The shoes, wear those shoes all the time.
They just-
And yet, I fit right in the Renaissance.
You looked like
that's not a compliment.
You looked like a farmer's confused son.
Yeah.
From Renaissance times.
Confused? I was
Well,
not
they'd be
confused.
like-
He's
sir.
not confused. I mean,
I was a man of the
We're not
horse.
going to get into what happened that weekend.
All he wants to do is write poetry. He doesn't have anything to do with the fig farm.
No,
And you're just out there picking flowers and dancing.
Oh, the fig farm. No, Marcus was arguing about very important Star Trek issues, which we are not going to get into.
No, I am not approaching.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Deep Space Nine truly
We are
is.
not going to get into it.
It's more than just
We're
guarding
just
a
not going to
wormhole,
get into
goddammit.
it. We're just not going to get into it.
Now, as we said earlier, mass hysterias can come from extreme stresses. In the times in which these dancing plagues occurred, the Middle Ages, they were horrific for the monkey brain of a human.
Yeah.
In the 1347 case, for example, the Black Death had swept through Europe only 25 years earlier. And in the Strasbourg outbreak, there had just been a famine accompanied by the arrival of a new disease called syphilis.
Welcome to the game, syphilis.
God dang.
In addition to recurrent outbreaks of both leprosy and the plague.
Syphilis does make you go mad, right?
After a long, very long
these
period
people
of time.
weren't suffering from syphilis.
No. Syphilis takes like 30, 40 years to drive you crazy.
I got you.
Interesting.
So you got plenty of time.
I'm good.
Interestingly, though, dancing to process and heal trauma is actually pretty common amongst human beings.
Oh, yeah, dancing is one of the most powerful art forms ever be because it's not hemmed in by language, society, or culture. Each culture has its own dance, and we're united by dance.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
Look at the electric slide. I feel that if we brought if we brought it to Afghanistan, if we brought the electric slide to Iran, I feel that we could really fix all of that.